They gon' let me in this club in these dirty vans. Clean money, I count stacks with these dirty hands. Do a show, caught the rack with my new advance. 50 bands, 80 bands, 100 bands. I'm the American dream. We the American dream. No money, no class, look at them. Look at them, how to make it in America. Real day one, ain't a lot of us. Mom worked 2 jobs, it was hard for us. Me and sis made it out, now she proud of us. They didn't teach me how to rap in those private schools. Wasn't like my rich friends, had a lot to lose. Less money, less options, lot of rules. So when that first deal came, it was opportune. And shorty got potential, I scout that. She say she in love, but I doubt that.
Right at the convergence of the Three Rivers on Art Rooney Drive, we welcome you to Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Atlanta Falcons and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Now we give to Taylor, and he'll get this one up to the 26. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26.
Gone! Detroit! Gone! Detroit!
To throw on 2nd down. Stokes. He completes it to Julio Jones. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Give him 30 yards there.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. This is Taylor, and he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Stephon Tuitt came out at Notre Dame as another one of those really tall defensive ends, and you just wonder, would they be able to have the leverage to bend and make plays? I think he just gave us an answer with that tackle.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Stokes. And that's off the mark, incomplete.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Looking to throw. Stokes. That one caught by Gibson. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game. But it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
And on their first drive, the offense staying out there. They're going to go for it on 4th.
Gun, gun! Gun, gun!
Operating from the gun. Stokes going for the deep ball. And that is going to be incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And this crowd loves it as their guys hold on the opening drive. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10.
Here we go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13.
Now let's go. 3-19. 3-19.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. They'll find Juju Smith-Schuster. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. The Steelers able to pick up 18 yards there. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
Now let's go. 3-19. 3-19.
Back to throw now on 1st down. Throw left side, complete to Smith-Schuster. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
I like that one, partner. They go back-to-back with excellent gains. And really, it shouldn't be a surprise who they were throwing the ball to. He's their best guy.
Yeah, we knew that they would get him involved early. They're doubling down on getting him involved early.
Don't be surprised they'll come right back to him again. They haven't shown the propensity to be able to stop him.
And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff and establish things. And it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
A first opportunity for the Steelers in the red zone. This is 1st and goal from about the 8. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
Sometimes play calls boil down to philosophy. You know you're facing one of the top 10 units against the run in the NFL. So do you decide to keep smashing against them, or do you decide to throw the ball here?
Moved back to the 10. They'll try on 2nd and goal here.
Now let's go. Green, 39.
They'll look to throw. This will be caught just inside the 10. The catch good for 6 yards, but now it's 3rd and goal.
And when you have a guy in the backfield who can catch the football, you don't just use him strictly for checkdowns or dump-offs. You make him part of the primary passing attack, because what you're trying to do is get him into open field and then let him make people miss and advance the football.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
They'll look to throw on 3rd and goal. Forced out to his left. And he fires one, but incomplete.
Boy, you will not see a quarterback of his caliber miss on one like that very often. I mean, there it is, wide open, got the shot, and he misfires.
We talk about, boy, he'll want that one back all the time. He definitely wants that one back. And Boswell's kick is good. And the Steelers will jump out to a 3-zip lead. So pretty good opening drive. That'll make the home fans somewhat happy. They wanted 6, but they got 3 in the early lead.
And they should be happy. The guys look good getting down the field. That's got to give them a little bit of hope that good things are in store here today for them.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3. And that's exactly what happened there.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. To throw on 2nd down. Stokes looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. The safety, Terrell Edmonds, picks it. And he'll bring this one back to the 29. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
Detroit! Detroit!
Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15.
Detroit! Hurry up, here we go. Green 39, green 39.
They'll set up to throw. He's got his man on the crossing route. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. And a nice gain of 21 yards. If there was one area that the coach emphasized in our pregame meeting, it was red zone offense.
And the sense I got from it, and I think you did as well, they weren't real happy with how they were executing previously, so they put a lot of time and effort into it because getting points is paramount. Doesn't matter what you do otherwise, don't leave the red zone without putting points on the board.
Back with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin. It's Steeler football to begin quarter number 2, and they've got it here with a first down.
Detroit! Detroit! Now let's go! 3-19! 3-19!
Back to throw. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. A great effort there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Steelers are going to add on to their lead. Extra point put through by Boswell. And the lead grows to 10-0. Boswell on now to kick this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. Here's Taylor. And he'll get about 3 here as he's out to the 30.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Let's go. 319. 319. Gone, gone. Gone, gone. Hot.
Taylor, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down. And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Detroit! Detroit! All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Gone, gone. Gone, gone.
They just do get the playoff as he'll look to throw. This is brought in by Gibson. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. Just a 5-yard pickup, but it leads to fourth down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
And now out come the Steelers. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Now let's go.
And they'll run it here. And a very short pickup there across the 15 to the 16. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets this football out shy of the 30 to the 29. 12 yards that time, and a Pittsburgh first.
Set. Green 39. Green 39.
Now whistles here before the snap, and it looks like one of the Steelers may have moved. A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Now let's go.
They're going to look to throw. Rolling to his left. And he slings one that's incomplete.
They tried to make something happen, but that one came up incomplete and really wasn't a good-looking throw.
Yeah, maybe even go as far as to call that a little ill-advised.
Yeah, I would say so. I think that's the right phrase for it. Definitely ill-advised. Just wonder about his mechanics right now, you know, and that's the tough part. You do so much stuff in practice to make it repetitive, but it has to repeat under pressure, whether it's pressure from the defense or just the pressure of playing the game.
Over the middle, hauled in by Smith-Schuster. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. He got 29 yards that time.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
From Falcon territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line.
Detroit! Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
He'll look to throw. Eluding the pressure right. Now he'll let it go deep right side. And that one falls incomplete. Looked like he might have had position there, but he couldn't hold on at 2nd down.
A lot of contact there, but there was no way it appeared that he was going to get a flag on that one. Looking for it, but he wasn't going to get it. And as an ex-defensive back, you love it when they let you play and jostle downfield.
Hurry up, here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Buying time to his left. Pass the 20. Looking left side, and it's complete. He got 29 yards that time. And the young buck showing that ability, that agility to dance outside of the pocket, complete the deep ball.
And don't think for a second that the coaching staff didn't have their heart rate accelerate a little bit there, right? Anytime you have those young quarterbacks and they get outside of the pocket, you're just hoping that they make good decisions because so many things can happen that can go wrong when you throw it downfield like that. He got away with it there and in a big way.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Got his man. It's caught for a Steelers touchdown. In for the score. And the Steelers find a way to stretch their lead. Boswell good with the extra point, and that makes our score 17-0. Boswell on now to kick this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Hurry up, here we go. 319. 319.
Throwing on 1st down. Stokes. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going down. 1:57 to go in this 1st half. Back to Heinz Field after this. Now then, after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23.
Over. Detroit.
Back to throw. Stokes. He sets to fire deep. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Jamal Adams. And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line. They set themselves behind the chains, tried to get it all back in one play, and it backfired.
Didn't it feel like a pitcher working his way into a 3-0 count, right? You're behind. What do your coaches always tell you? Get it back one pitch at a time. In this case, they tried to get it back right away, and it didn't work out.
Now let's go. Green 39. Green.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a 1st down. They'll look to throw now on 1st down. Throw left side complete. That's James. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Looking to throw. And they're going to get him. He's taken down for a sack back at the 47-yard line. Tack McKinley in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And James has it. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A big 30-yard play on 3rd. And with that completion, he's now north of 200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their confidence. And, you know, you always want to keep that up and feel like you can always bounce back after plays. But with the kind of numbers he's putting up here, it's starting to wear on them a little bit, I think. So they're looking at each other and trying to figure out what defense will work and how can they play better without getting beat deep for big passes.
Six yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4.
Detroit! Detroit!
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock. The Steelers on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 4.
Hurry up, here we go. Green 39, green 39.
They'll look to throw again. Steps away to his left. And this is incomplete with a clock showing just 3 seconds left. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. From the right hash, this from 33. And Boswell's kick is good. So we reach halftime here in the Steel City with the Steelers on top. As we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. The kickoff unit is out on the field and they will send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Steeler offense now with a football first here to begin the 3rd quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. He'll find Smith-Schuster. That's complete. A good pickup there, 22. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But it looked like the Steelers were able to recover, and they will indeed hold on to the ball.
And a little bit of good fortune there. He wasn't able to get it back, but he did have a teammate on the spot able to retain possession for them.
And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20.
Lucky 56. All right, here we go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to get this one all the way up to about the 46-yard line. He digs them part way out of the hole that they're in. It's an 8-yard gain, and it makes it 3rd and 12. And the Steelers on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd down and 12. They'll look to throw here. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. Skirts by him at the 35. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. It's a gain of 20 and picking up the first.
And I know you can't really see it, but that play spells frustration with a capital F for the guys on defense. They covered everyone else, end up going to the running back out of the backfield, and he picks up a back-breaking first down.
And past the 30 down to about the 27. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
They'll set up a throw. Open man completes it to Smith-Schuster. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. He has a first down, and that catch will also put him over 100 yards receiving now on the afternoon.
Detroit!
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Dancing to his left. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
They brought the blitz that time, and I thought they were going to get to him, but instead he flipped it on its ear and ended up picking up positive yardage.
I thought he was dead to rights, but you are exactly correct, sir. Able to turn that into a positive gain. 2nd and goal from inside the 5.
Set! 3-19! 3-19!
Now back to throw. And that's incomplete. Good coverage that time by the linebacker, Deion Jones. Well, those two have hooked up for a touchdown once already in this game, that time unable to find the completion.
Yeah, it just appeared they wanted to get him out into open space and try and get him the football. As you mentioned, unable to connect.
Well, they've been so good on 3rd down all day long. Can they convert another here on 3rd and goal?
Here we go now. Blue 90! Blue 90! Detroit!
He'll drop to throw. And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. As his guys are in for 6. And the Steelers are going to add on to their lead.
We see this route all the time, but when it's well executed, it's a beauty.
And it feels like the fade takes forever to develop, like that ball is just hanging in the air.
And the reason why is that the receiver is trying his best to work the defender inside and give himself space to fade away from him and catch the football. And that's exactly what happened there.
And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Here comes the Falcons offense. It's their first possession of the second half now. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16.
And with a flag down, he goes down. So they're able to sack him. Now the penalty looks like it could be holding. Let's find out. Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty.
Gun! Detroit! Hot!
Looking to throw. Stokes. That's to the right side, complete to Kittle. And he'll get it up here this time to the 21. They'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for third down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Throwing on third and long. Stokes, he's going to launch this thing way down, and he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off by Ryan Shazier, and they will set up shop at their own 41-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
So good field position for the Steelers as they come up 1st and 10. And on the ground they go with a running back. And he takes it past the 45 and down at the 46. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10.
All right, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
They'll drop to throw. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Back to throw here. Open man right side is Smith-Schuster, complete. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. It's a Pittsburgh first down, a gain of 13. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
Being chased out left. He's got a man. That's caught. Left sideline. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. A good pickup there, 26 yards. Under a minute to go in this third quarter as they come up 1st and 10.
Here we go now. 3-19. 3-19.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. It'll be a 3-yard pickup, and it brings up 2nd and goal.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
He'll look to throw. Forced out, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
Second goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack, but he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football, had to eat it, and ended up on the ground.
Back now in Pittsburgh. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. Well, they've been so good on third down all day long. Can they convert another here on 3rd and goal?
All right, here we go. 3-19.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1. So now here comes the field goal team for the 3rd time today. From the left hash, it's a 36-yard attempt. And Boswell's kick is good. And they're sitting pretty now as the lead grows even further. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the fourth.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here are the Falcons as their offense heads back onto the field. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. He dumps it underneath for Taylor. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and that'll make this a second down.
Gone! 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 All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky.
Off the play fake. Stokes. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But the Falcons were able to recover, so they will keep possession.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from it. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
A big play on third down for the Falcons. And even 40 yards.
As we continue to advance in the NFL, as people continue to scout players, they really don't care as much about body types as they care about those guys who can make people miss, run through tackles, and gain all that additional run after catch. Anybody who has that ability, they want them on their team.
So the big play moves them all the way across midfield. It's 1st and 10 from the 45. On 1st and 10, Stokes throwing for his running back, and he's got it complete. And he's going to be taken down right at the line. No gain on the play there. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or 2 miss, but that window closed quickly. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Stokes. And Jones has it over the middle. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues. On 1st down, Stokes. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. The safety, Terrell Edmonds, picks it. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line. Thought they had something going there to break that goose egg here in the second half, but to no avail.
Hope was alive until that interception. What a terrific play, taking the ball away after it looked like they were starting a drive.
And now that shutout still standing. You know that's something those defensive guys hold a lot of pride on, too.
No doubt about it. They are excited about where they are in this game.
They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. Going top shelf for Smith-Schuster. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. That hold coming from the left side of the line.
Hands got caught in the cookie jar on that one, and the flag came out. Penalty against them.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20.
Now let's go. 3-19.
And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here. So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football. Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
Gone, 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 gone. Hurry up, here we go. Blue landed. Blue landed.
They'll look to throw. Flushed out right. Going top shelf for Smith-Schuster. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. Fourth quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for second down.
All right, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
Now whistles here before the snap, and it looks like one of the Steelers may have moved. And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. Second down and long.
Gun. Set. Green, 39.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the number one thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
The Steelers on third down. They've hit 4 of 7. This will be third and a mile.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Back to throw. And a big loss here as he's taken down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Here's Jordan Berry now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. It's taken to the 26. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. Now the Falcons offense gets ready to head back onto the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Hey, tight down. There you go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he works his way forward for about 4 up to the midfield stripe.
Well, they did throw interceptions on their last 2 drives, so no surprise at all they decided to start it with a running play. I'm actually a little bit surprised, though, that they got as much out of it as they did.
Yeah, decent little gain. Puts them in a pretty good spot for second down.
Detroit! Detroit! 4 down. Check. 4 down. Detroit! Detroit!
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. That one caught by Gibson. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So that one a hold right guard.
And you understand why offensive and defensive linemen probably go to martial arts schools and work on their hands so often, because that can be the make or break difference on a play. This time he had to grab a jersey in order to make the play happen. Got caught for the penalty.
To throw on second down. Stokes. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down.
Gun! Detroit! Detroit! Gun! 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 Nice 50! Nice 50! Yeah, let's get that ball here. Let's get that ball right here.
Boy, and now they can't even get a play off. So that'll back them up 5. After the delay, they're backed up even further for 3rd and long.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Now flags come flying in. One of the Falcons moved early. That's going to set them back 5 yards. So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now. 3rd and long. From the gun, Stokes. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. It'll be a gain of 6, and that'll bring up 4th down. A nice job of bringing that in, but why was he so close to the sideline there? They had all kinds of room in the flat.
A little bit of a lack of coordination between him and the quarterback because both of them should have seen that room that was available, that space. Stop your route a little bit shorter, put it on him, and let him turn and get upfield.
The Falcons send out their punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And now a low liner. I think he mishit it. And the Steelers set to take the field. With this lead and the football, things obviously looking good, but maybe, you know, you've taught me this before, maybe this is where the defense is hoping that the offense helps them preserve that shutout that they've got going.
And it has to be in the minds of the offense that they know how rare it is to get a shutout. So take care of them, protect them, take care of the ball, move it downfield, run the clock down. You don't want your defense to have to go on the field again the rest of the game. Reward them.
And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion, and both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
Green 39. Green 39.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. It's an 8-yard pickup, and they're going to have a 3rd down.
Detroit! Detroit!
They're going to look to throw. Throwing middle, and it's complete. And he's going to have the 1st down at about the 38. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have
point you just brought up? So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Green 39. Green 39.
He'll look to throw. Buying time to his left. And time finally runs out. He can't get rid of the football, and he's taken down.
Brandon, that's just football 101. If you're out of the pocket, you've got to get rid of the football in this situation. You cannot take a sack in a 2-minute drill.
So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done.
All right, here we go. 319. 319.
Now it looks like he'll throw here. Steps away to his left. Able to power through. Under pressure again, and down he goes again.
Okay, let's go back a little bit and see if my schooling comes to the front. What's that old saying? Those who forget the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them. That's the same guy who's gotten back-to-back sacks. I think a double team may be in order.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. They'll set up to throw. Dancing to his left. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Landon Collins. And his crew will take over at their own 45-yard line. Their passing game has been spectacular this afternoon. Finally, a win for the defense.
You think maybe there was an adjustment there. Finally gained a measure of, I don't even know if you call it revenge, but got a play done against him, and that's been difficult for them all game long.
Now they try the right side here. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Now they'll run it on the toss. And they get him down right near the midfield stripe. He gets them a little over half of what they needed. Now they're looking at a 3rd and 5. And now we're going to get a timeout. Somewhat pointlessly called with 3 seconds to go in a game that's already been decided. The Falcons on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
One final shot. They'll look to throw. Under pressure here, and down he goes. Sacked back at about the 43-yard line. So Charles are able to complete what so often seems to be elusive, a shutout in the NFL. And maybe what's fitting is they ended the game on the field, that defensive unit on the field. What an exclamation mark.
And probably felt like they could go another 60 minutes without anyone putting points on the board against them. That's the confidence you gain throughout when you're pitching a shutout. And they're going to leave the stadium feeling like they're all 10 feet tall.
So for the Steelers, that early momentum continues here as they move to 4-0. And they'll get to stay put for a few days as they'll host the Buffalo Bills next week. Meanwhile, for Atlanta, they'll drop down to 1-3. And they'll be at home next week for a date with the Arizona Cardinals. I'm Brandon Gaudens.
What's up, gang? Let me go secure for the game right quick. Hey, what's up, gang? I got it. I think it's my fault. For real. What's up, the rest. Hey, I got that chicken to go. I'm gone. A lot of these look lost. They broke. They think it's my fault. No cost. I want that cost. I'm dripping off.